Google just revealed the Pixel 10a completely out of the blue, and it feels like such a weird release. This whole story unfolded over the course of the last week, where Google released a 16-second teaser trailer right as leaks were pouring out left and right. But I'm glad that they did release it because we actually learned a lot about what to expect. It confirms we do, in fact, have the same design from last year, the same boxy shape, flat side rails, and matte finish that we all know and love. In Google's official ad, we saw the Pixel 10a in lavender, but Android headlines leaked the rest of the color lineup, that being black, fog, which is a off-white color, and the headline heavily rumored berry color, which is a deep, vibrant reddish/pink tone. If I do get a review unit, I am 100% going for that berry color because I think it looks so incredibly unique. Also, it is worth mentioning the camera housing is getting a tiny tweak as well. Based on the teaser, they're removing the protective bump around the camera ring for a system that is completely flat. When it comes to internal specs, however, everything is still heavily rumored. Regardless, the Android community is still very vocal about what we might see. The biggest piece of attention, or maybe outrage if you will, is how the Pixel 10a is apparently going to reuse the same Tensor G4 chip for the second year in a row, which, to be fair, is pretty unheard of in the tech space, and I think it's the first time that Google has ever done anything like this. We don't have much detail. Maybe they're giving us the flagship level instead of the toned down version. Either way, I personally believe their strategy here is to prioritize affordability at all costs, especially with this upcoming economy. Reusing the same design and the same processor saves a ton of money on manufacturing costs, and let's be real here, this is also probably done in order to widen the gap between their flagships and their more affordable devices. Honestly, it does make sense to me. Call me crazy. OnePlus already does this with their affordable phones using last year's flagship chip for their current year budget device, and I can't really knock Google for doing the same exact thing. I will say though, rumor has it there is one tangible upgrade with the core internals, and that's the potential upgrade to the Exynos 5400 modem, which is found in the flagship Pixel 10 series. This should fix the #1 complaint about the A series connectivity issues, and it should, in theory, reduce thermals as well, since it's a more efficient modem, so that is a win in my book. Otherwise, it looks like everything else is going to be exactly the same. We have what I believe is going to be the same exact display, a 6.3-inch POLED 120Hz panel that goes up to 2700 nits peak brightness. We're going to get the same 8 gigs of RAM, the same IP68 rating, the same 5100 mAh battery, the same UFS 3.1 storage, and likely it's going to start at 128 gigabytes. The only thing we don't know at this point is if the Pixel 10a will include the Qi2 magnets that we saw in the Pixel 10. So far, I haven't seen a single rumor confirming or denying it. It's pure speculation at this point. The optimist side of me wants to say yes, Google is taking the lead in the affordable smartphone market and is making Qi2 standard. I think it would be a huge flex, especially since it's basically confirmed the upcoming much more expensive Galaxy S26 Ultra won't come with built-in magnets, crazy enough. So personally, I think adding it to the Pixel 10a would be a great initiative on Google's part. But the realist in me is saying they're probably going to use it as a divide between their premium phones and their more affordable A series. Not to mention, it might be too expensive to add magnets if the profit margins were already thin in the first place, which is typically the case on these more budget phones. Ultimately, from a corporate perspective, offering Pixel Snap cases would probably be more lucrative anyway, as opposed to building the magnets actually in the phone itself. That said, I really hope that I'm wrong about this because I think adding magnets would make this an absolutely killer device. And also, I think Google needs to add Qi2 magnets because of one huge aspect that I see no one talking about. Apparently, Apple is getting ready to release the iPhone 17e at the same time at the same approximate price range as the Pixel 10a. This is a big problem actually because if you look at the rumors out there, you can see the iPhone 17e is speculated to arrive less than 1 month away. Rumor has it, the iPhone 17e is going to come with MagSafe, by the way, a new C1X modem, and the Apple A19 chip. And I know some of you guys are probably wondering why we're even comparing Apple's E-series devices to the Pixel 10a in the first place. And if you've been keeping up with the tech news, you would know it's heavily speculated right now that the mid-range market is probably going to experience a huge boom in 2026. According to Counterpoint Research, we already saw a 27% year-over-year increase in the $300 to $600 segment in Q4 of 2025. Within those metrics, the Pixel 9a and the iPhone 16e were the biggest drivers of that growth. Both the iPhone 16e and the Pixel 9a were smash hits in the holiday season, all while everyone else in the market stagnated or lost market share. In layman's terms, the mid-range market is currently a full-on war between Apple and Google, at least in the US. Plus, with all this speculation about components going up in price, people might be migrating in mass to the more quote-unquote premium affordable market instead of buying flagships, which is ultimately why Google needed to release a Pixel 10a this year. If they didn't, Apple would be standing there first in line, ready to take everyone's money with no real competition. And if you compare apples to apples, no pun intended, the Pixel 10a is in theory a much better deal. It's going to have a 120Hz display instead of the 60Hz rumored to be on the upcoming iPhone 17e. It has a dual camera system that takes great photos, mind you, instead of the iPhone 16e's rumored single camera system. Plus, it still gets that ultra clean Pixel experience. It's expected to be $100 cheaper than the iPhone 17e, and Google's pitch as being the leader in AI features within smartphones seems to be working very well for them. By all accounts, there is no possible way that Google could have skipped making a Pixel 10a this year, even if this phone is virtually identical to last year's phone. Obviously, if you're a hardcore flagship-only Android user, the Pixel 10a might not appeal to you at all, actually, which is probably totally intentional. This phone is really meant for the normal, everyday consumer that at some point this year is going to decide between a cheap iPhone 17e or a cheap Pixel 10a, and I want as many people as possible to pick the Pixel 10a. Trust me guys, I personally wanted much more out of this phone too, if all the rumors we have now are to be believed. But you do have to understand this phone isn't for us flagship lovers. Our time is coming in about 6 months when the Pixel 11 series gets released. Let's save our criticism for then because we'll probably need it. That said, let me know all your thoughts down in the comments below. What do you think about Google's strategy with the Pixel 10a? Do you think it'll be a missed opportunity if they don't include Qi2 magnets? And do you think it's going to be healthy competition against the iPhone 17e? Please leave your comments and share all your thoughts with the rest of the Android community. Until next time, this has been Jordan Floyd from 9to5 Google. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.